Hello again, folks. Welcome to WCTV Sports and the show called Off the Court. I'm Paul Geigle, your host, and alongside of me is Coach Kevin Brogioli, varsity coach for the Wareham Vikings. This is season 2015, Coach. And sorry, folks, we didn't get to do a couple more shows, but because of the weather and everybody's scheduling and stuff was crazy. But anyway, we got the most important, I think, off the court show right now. We just ended the regular season the other night against a great game, Old Rochester versus Wareham, a rematch from an earlier game back in December that they lost another tough one, 53-50, and this one 66-62. Coach, in that game, that kid Jordan Menard, he's a Viking killer. He certainly played well. Hit a couple of big, two or three big three-point shots that kind of put separation between you when you made little runs at him.
Well, the killer was the one at the end. It was a tie game with about a minute and 50 to go. So, and he hit that three-pointer. Long, slow, arcing shot that seemed like it hung up there forever. But he's a clutch player. He's a good athlete. He's a nice kid too. And but that was a great game. Even though it was a 4-point spread this time, I thought we played them. It was a lot closer game than the last game was, and could have gone either way down the stretch. But they made their shots down the stretch. We missed a couple, and that was the difference.
And the other kid that I thought was played exceptionally well for them was the sophomore center, Valls.
Matt Valls, in the fourth quarter, I think he had 8 points, and he was tough. We didn't have an answer to stop him down in the low post. Yeah, his offense was tough. He was making some nice little turnaround shots in the paint there. He was tough. And the thing that I think that bugged you guys all year long is that when you guys penetrate in the paint, the finishing just was killing you guys. You know, they just weren't going in for you. You know, you had your chances. And unfortunately for you guys, Rochester was playing pretty good defense, so you didn't get many second chances, you know, some putbacks and stuff. So, you know. Yeah. I mean, like I said, that game was nip and tuck, back and forth the whole way, and play here or there down the end. It's a different, we'd be putting a different spin on it right now.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to the first time you guys played them, was it, do you feel you played a lot better?
I thought we played a better game the second time around, especially in the second half. Matt Griggs toughed it out and played on a sprained ankle, and I thought played a good, emotional, hard-fought game without being 100%. But he was the leader on the court that night. I thought Andy White played a great second half, again, taking the ball hard to the hole, and Jovan showed why he's one of the top scorers in the league in that third quarter where he got us back into the game.
He's really come on in the second half this year, hasn't he?
He has.
A little slow start, but now his defense, we're seeing him play a little better defense and stuff, and his penetration is awesome. I mean, you know, when he wants to take it to the hoop, you know, he just you got two guys there that can slash to the paint. Andy and him both are two guys that do that for you.
Correct.
And what's the other thing I was going to ask you about? Oh yeah, in those two games against Old Rochester, but another thing that kind of bit you guys twice is you getting that bad offensive for one quarter. The first quarter this first quarter you only had 12 points against Old Rochester. They got a big jump on you in the first quarter, so that they had the momentum going into the the last part of the second half there. And in the first game, I guess it was pretty even. You had one bad first quarter, and that was this quarter number 4. Yeah, you got outscored by 16-11. And this one here, the last quarter, the game we just saw Friday night, 19-12. You were outscored in the fourth quarter, right? And so that was pretty much the 4-point spread. You guys had a great third quarter. You outscored them 20-12. So. Always that one offensive quarter that seems to kill you, you know. So
well, if you're playing better defense than those quarters, it won't get you. But if you're not, then you got to do both.
So the consistency there for offense, you'd like to see a little more consistency offensive wise. Now I was going to ask you about the officiating in that game. You know, you don't like to always, rag on the officials, but in that game I saw a lot of things that I thought they put the whistle away. especially inside.
They let him play.
Yeah, they did.
There was a lot of banging inside. I thought a couple times when we went up, and it was both ways, but I know a couple times we went up inside when Andy did get to the basket. Some of the reason the ball wasn't going in is because his arms were getting hit.
Yeah, exactly.
But they let him play. They let both sides play. I thought there was a couple blocking fouls on picks that were suspect, but it wasn't the officials. It was just a hard-fought game, and I pulled it out.
Right, and the only one thing that kind of puzzled me, remember that play where the shot clock went off? We were down the other end, and you guys had the ball, and the shot clock ran out on Old Rochester, and you brought the ball up, and the referees took that possession away from you. What was the story on that one? Do you remember that play?
They took the possession away?
Yeah.
We didn't get the ball back?
No.
I don't.
No,
I
you
don't
remember that one?
I don't remember that play. No.
No.
So
No.
We'll have to go back to the tape.
Do you
and
remember
take a
that
look.
one, Christian? Our producer, actually, Christian doesn't remember that one either. No. The shot clock had expired. I know you're supposed to get possession on that ball.
Yep.
Right. And then you came up the floor. They blew the whistle, and they took the ball back.
I don't recollect that.
Well, but anyway, the last 4 games, you won 2 out of 4. You won a terrific, exciting game against Bourne, a rematch against Bourne, overtime game. We just seemingly had one, but Jacob Ashworth made an incredible 3-pointer to put that into overtime.
He made several in that fourth quarter, but I think Andy White's 32 points in the second half were just as incredible.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. He scored 11. I think he shot 11 free throws in that quarter too, in that overtime, in the overtime period anyway. And then Matt Griggs, just getting back to his injury. I was kind of surprised you let him play there. Did you talk you into letting him play against
No, that was
Rochester?
completely between the trainer and me. If the swelling went down a great amount for that last day, because he was staying off it, he was icing it, he was rehabbing it, and the trainer said it really, swelling went down. As long as the swelling was down, and we put him through some paces, and he was able to cut. He said he's at no greater risk for injuring it further.
So did they wrap it for him?
Oh yeah, they taped it up a lot, and he was able to play.
So you'll find out tonight in practice.
Well, he practiced yesterday for us.
He did?
Yep.
Okay, so he looked okay.
He looked okay.
That's a good
He was a
sign.
little sore, but he looked okay. So he'll be ready for Thursday night.
I think going down the second half, one of your players that I think have stepped up big time is Mark Perot.
Yes.
Coming off the bench. I think it looks like you trust him a lot now, coming in right off that bench to come in.
Right, and he's earned that. He's besides the shots that he's been hitting, it's more he gets rebounds. He gets offensive and defensive
Getting in
rebounds.
position.
Keeps the ball alive and is strong and physical. And I do have more confidence in him now, and we're going to need him down for this
You're
tournament.
going to need him off that bench to give those guys a spell. So a healthy Matt Griggs is going to spell well for you guys in the early part of this tournament. Anyway, let's take a quick look at these brackets here. We got Abington. And we were just talking earlier that you had scouted Abington High School, the Green Wave from Abington, Massachusetts. Their big guy, the only thing I know about them is their big guy, Luca Cirasani. I think he's their football player.
Yep.
He must 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, lefty, tight end type.
Yeah, a wide body, as we say.
Yep.
So you saw him play.
Yes, I
so
did.
he looks.
He's solid.
Yeah,
he's solid. Good player. I think their 2 best players are their guards, though, Donovan and Colley.
Okay.
Are their 2. They're not particularly big. They're like 5'9", 5'10", maybe 5'8", 5'9".
Sean
but,
Donovan's a guard, right?
Donovan's a guard and Colley is a guard. And
Right.
I think those are their 2 best offensive players on the team.
Yeah, Donovan's a junior and Colley's a senior guard, right? Yeah, and Cirasani's he's the seniir football player, and I guess he was a terrific football player too. For their in their Super Bowl. So I was just looking at their schedule here. They played some common opponents that you guys. We have seen Rockland High School. They split with them. They played Carver High School. That's not too impressive. A game against Carver. That's a non-league game. Mashpee, East Bridgewater, who have been disappointing this year, but they beat them. So last game was against South Shore Christian Academy. Is that Division 4?
I believe so.
Yes. Yeah. Oliver Ames. Now there's a tough opponent. They're Division 2, and they're going to be a force to reckon with in Division 2. And they didn't fare so well against them. But Cardinal Spellman, who you played twice, they split with them. So Spellman won one of the games, and then their rematch they won against Spellman. So.
No, they're a quality team. Yep. They'll mix up 2-3 zone, man-to-man, and 1-3-1. They'll play all three defenses. They will look to push it. Their league isn't as fast as our league. Generally, it's more of a clutch and grab, rock fight kind of league, and ours is a little more finesse, fast break kind of league. So it'll be two different styles. Yeah, I noticed some of the scores in these games here. A lot of low-scoring games compared to you guys here. In South Coast. So I think that kind of typifies the style, right? Yes.
You guys like to run. These guys like to slow it down, play kind of a half-court.
They'll look to run, but there's a lot of clutching and grabbing that goes on in that league, and so it would definitely be two different styles. I don't think they're as quick as we are. They're not slow, but they're not as a team-wide, total team-wise, maybe as quick. Now, other than the two guys you mentioned, the guy Cassini there, and they're not too tall, huh? They match up. Height-wise, height-wise, we match up
pretty well,
pretty even. So that wouldn't be an advantage either way.
Mm-hmm. And in the brackets here, on this side here, we'd definitely like to be on the side where Bourne is right now.
Exactly. We have
isn't that unbelievable?
Quality.
Just one position here made the whole difference in these brackets here.
That's what happens.
Yeah. So Bourne's sitting pretty good there, but they got to win the games. You got to go out and play the games. And if you guys beat Abington, if you're fortunate enough to do that, you're going to meet the winner of Martha's Vineyard in Westport.
Correct.
And it looks like it's going to be Martha's Vineyard. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and pick Vineyard here. Because I've seen Westport play. They don't run the floor very well. They got one dynamite player, Chad Willard.
And is at the Vineyard.
Yeah. And the Vineyard, we've seen play a couple of times. They're pretty tough. They got a good guy, Charlie Roberts, Tim Roberts. But we'll talk about them now some other time. We got to concentrate on Abington High School. But anyway, just for fun, I'd just like to ask you about these, just run down these games here. Old Rochester's going to play the winner of Apponequet and Mashpee. I'm going to go out on a limb and pick Apponequet in that one.
I would agree,
you agree with that.
I would.
Okay. Now, Old Rochester and Apponequet, I think we'll both pick Old Rochester in that one, right?
I would as well, yes.
Okay. Now, Stang and Hanover, have you had any scouting reports on Hanover?
That's going to be a very good game.
Yeah.
Those are two good teams, actually, and that's going to give, whichever one of those teams wins is going to give Old Rochester all they can handle in that next game. That's two of the more intriguing teams. That's why our side of the bracket has the quality teams.
Tough. And the only disappointing thing for the Bishop Stang fans is Bryson Goodine's out. We're not going to see him, even though he was in the lineup when they knocked off the Vineyard, didn't they? With him out of the lineup. Desmond Johnson came back into the lineup after being out for.
They lost to the Vineyard.
They lost to the Vineyard. But they beat. Who did they beat? That was impressive. Anyway, they
beat Old Rochester.
Yeah, they beat Old Rochester, right, without Bryson Goodine in the lineup, which is pretty impressive, I thought. And Wareham Abington, we're going to pick Wareham in that one.
I hope so. We'll see.
You got to play the game first, right, Coach? As you always say. The Vineyard and Westport, we already said. Coach and I both like Martha's Vineyard in that one. Okay, let's go over to the other bracket here. Norwell, who I've only seen in a scrimmage this year against Cardinal Spellman earlier, so you don't really count scrimmages. But they're going to play the winner of Dedham and Dennis Yarmouth. Now I've seen Dennis Yarmouth. They got one player, L.K. Metz, the football player. Dedham, they're Division III, but they're in the Bay State League. So
in the Division II league, I think Dedham beats DY, and I think
you like that.
Norwell will beat Dedham in a very close game.
Right.
That's my prediction.
Okay, you got Dedham. All right. I have no idea. I'm not a Dennis Yarmouth fan, so I'm going to go with Dedham, my old Bay State League team. Okay, Fairhaven. Here's an interesting one. Fairhaven and East Bridgewater. And we talked earlier, East Bridgewater, they're kind of disappointing season. I think they kind of underachieved or overrated. I don't know. I'm going to say they underachieved this year against a tough Fairhaven team.
That'll be another close game. That's kind of a pick 'em. But
I'm
going to go with the South Coast Conference until they play us.
Fairhaven, okay. All right. I don't know what I'd take there. I'm a little disappointed in East Bridgewater, so I'm going to go with the South Coast Fairhaven too. I like their coach, and So I'm going to stick with our South Coast Conference teams here. Here's an interesting one. Bourne and Archbishop Williams. Archie's, I don't know, they were 11-9 this year, so just 2 games over 500. Bourne, good young team. They got those 2 guards, the young freshman, and of course Jacob Ashworth, and 2 sophomores up front who played last year. So,
Archbishop Williams has one quality 6'4" player, is
pretty good,
borderline stud. So that'll be another good game. I think the team will beat the one player though, so I think Bourne will win that game.
Wow, Bourne. And then if Bourne wins that game, they got to play the winner of this one here, Norton and Rockland. Now, I've seen Rockland play. No height, one good player, a really good player. And who's that? Not Williams. Can't think of his name. But the guards are okay. But I haven't seen Norton play, so I don't know. Who do you like?
Norton's kind of sneaky, but I'm going to
go
with Rockland.
Coach Fred Damon, you kind of like Coach Fred to win that opener. I did see Rockland against Danvers, and of course Danvers is Division II, and they're lights out, so you can't really gauge that game on that one because they were a little overmatched in that one. But that's going to be a tough one. So, and like I said, the winner, Bourne. If we like Bourne and Rockland in that one, that's going to be an exciting match. But
it will.
That'll be Thursday night. So, in practice, Coach, what are you working on now? Any new plays and something new in the wrinkle in the offense?
The good thing is when you're playing teams for the first time, you don't really need new plays. You just have to execute the plays that the South Coast Conference knows very well, but these other teams really don't. So we will work on reviewing our 1-3-1 offense, our man offense, our 2-3 zone offense, work maybe on a gimmick defense or two potentially to roll out if we need it. And kind of the fundamentals, get a lot of shooting in, a lot of foul shooting. The games always come down to foul shots and layups.
Oh boy, yes.
And
does it really?
We'll continue to work on those, but we'll game plan for Abington really hard tomorrow and Wednesday. Today's more fundamentals, yesterday fundamentals, and today we'll be working on our full court pressure as well.
So you're pretty much comfortable going man-to-man?
We're going to mix it up. We'll mix it up.
Depending on how it goes there.
Depending on how it goes, but we'll be able to go man. We'll be able to go 1-3-1. Be able to go zone press, maybe triangle and 2. You never know. We'll it's nothing to hold back, so we'll pull it all out, whatever we need to win.
Now, in the last game we just saw against OR, I know you wanted to go 1-3-1 in that one.
Well, we practiced it for 2 or 3 days because we didn't think we had Matt Griggs available to us, and so when Matt was able to come back, we went back to man in the second half, and we actually, I thought, played better defense in the second half with our man than we did in the first half with the 1-3-1. But I mean, we need to play them all. We may need to play them all. So we'll, like I said, there's nothing to hold back.
No. So without the threat of another snowstorm, hopefully not, we'll get the game in. I think you got a nice little run here of practices to prepare for that game, which is nice.
The most we've had in about 3 weeks, it seems like.
Yeah. So anyway, there was one game here that you were absent for, and that was at Case, and you let Coach Seekonk, excuse me. Yeah, our last road game at Seekonk. Coach Faniel got to fill in for you. And
yes.
So can we?
I had a school committee conflict with my employer that I had to go to. Unfortunately, it's the first time in 30 years I had to miss a basketball game.
Wow.
But I knew the team would be in good hands with Coach Faniel, and Seekonk was if we're going to miss a game, Seekonk's a good opponent to. If you have to miss one, that's the one you want to miss in the league. And but the team came through, Coach Faniel came through, and they played very well, pressed well early, and won big.
Yeah, the kids played well that night for Steven. So technically, can we take that game away from your win in the column there?
In the words of my father, hell no.
Hell no. Okay, Coach. So we're going to wrap it up at Coach Brogioli for the Wareham Viking varsity team, the boys varsity team. I'm Paul Geigle, your host of Off the Court. Thanks for watching this year, and hope you enjoyed the Off the Court shows. And Coach, good luck in the tourney.
Thank you very much.
And for our producer, Christian Fernandez, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with you Thursday night from Wareham High School. Abington High School versus Wareham High School. First round, South D3 brackets. And hope you're watching. Good night. So, Coach Brogioli from the Wareham Vikings varsity coach for the boys varsity. I'm Paul Geigle. Thanks for watching Talk and Roll this year. And Coach, excuse me, we'll delimit that out, edit that out. Yeah.